This is an example of speed. This is an example of this is an
Hello, and welcome back to Phoenix World Championship. We are approaching the final stretch. 3 races to go. Week number 6 greets us in Italy, or San Marino if you're slightly geographically challenged like most of Formula 1 was back in the day. Autodromo Enzo in a Ferrari greets you at Imola for our next week. The drivers are doing their qualifying laps, and we're back to classic road courses and more challenging ones from the likes of practice and from what we've seen in the qualifying. But we do have a larger grid today, and hopefully we'll see some bigger surprises. But before we proceed to that, let's see how the championship standings are looking currently. That's after 5 weeks. We didn't have any penalties as a result of a previous race, so everything stood as it is. McLaren team in the lead by 10 points over Atom Racing. Gunsis and Psychedelics are chasing the top duo. You can see the rest on your screen. Still 16 classified, and definitely will be more after today's race. We'll see by how many more. That will be the question towards the end of the race. And regarding the team standings, still have 8 teams and still have Racing Team Intel 1 up top by a solid 45-point gap over 2 PRT teams, PRT Black and Orange. Framed Automotive jump Racing Team Intel 2 into 4th place. So that is another battle we're gonna be spectating in team standings. But for now, 8 minutes to go. We do have drivers trying to set up valid laps. We have 6 so far, which is a little bit low, but there is a reason to it. It's one of the more challenging tracks in regards of track limits, despite everybody doing so many laps around it throughout many seasons, I'm quite sure. But we'll see. McLaren team currently in the lead by 3/10 at 33 flat. Do have some familiar faces up top, being chased by Gunses in 2nd place. Everybody else is in 34s, except Viperian in 136, that was invalid, and Cap at 137, that was also invalid. You can see everybody else are here. We do have one new car at the leaderboard, Fern. The new addition in a very unmarked Porsche, currently residing in 8th. But just needs another 10th to jump 2 places over Saltseeder and Nemesis. So welcome to our newcomers in one of the faster but more challenging cars. Let's see how Fern will be able to handle the pressure and let's say temperament of this wild German car. We've seen somebody go off track there. I think it's Scheiper that was not able to negotiate last couple of turns. 17 and 18 of Rivazza. And Fern crosses the line. 34.2, great result. Jumps him several positions up to P4. Saltseeder improves though to 34 flat, 34-1 for Psychedelics. Fern drops instantly to 5th place. And we're looking at 2 more cars that are gonna be joining us. And that's a new make. That's a couple of Lamborghinis of Buckfast Racing Team, which I will undoubtedly call Buckwheat at some point of this championship. I apologize profusely in advance. The new yellow Lamborghini, which is half Irish, half drunk, and entirely written by Smart Pipe here in car number 4, and a sister car in the team by True Wushi. That would be car number 12. Both of them are still yet to set up a valid time, so we'll be waiting for that from both of them. New car is definitely always exciting. Last time we've seen a Lamborghini, it was driven exclusively by Mr. Grinder, who is currently residing in a safety car Pagani. So I guess it's nice to see this car back. I would say back in black, but that would be obviously not true. So we only have one car that's currently not used. It will be the Audi. Only Huntex registered their entry in the championship, but yet to turn a lap in a solo Audi. So we do have 5 makes on track currently, and we'll see how they play together. Here we go, on board with the Huracan GT3. So take on board lap of Imola, obviously not something many of you would be unfamiliar with, but still, let's go through the turns 12, 13, and approaching Variante Alta 14, 15. Hard chicane, very difficult corners, and high curbs, so if you take it wrong, the car will be loose, and will definitely want to step out, but you have to accelerate early, accelerate well, approaching 17 and 18. Reverse the corners, couple of final turns where the AstroTurf is loose, and you must have a great exit onto the start-finish straight through 19 and all the way into Variante Bassa turn number 1. Skipping entirely the motorcycle chicane you see here. And let's see if Smart Pipe posts a valid lap. Not yet, so that was another out lap for Smart Pipe. 3.5 minutes left to go. And we proceed. Just quickly banning someone from my chat advertising their services nobody wanted, but anyway. Saltseeder currently residing in 3rd place, followed by Nemedis closely. Psychedelics drops down to 5th place. Fern in 6th, Framed Automotive in... we have an update. There we go, Porsche of Marzen. 33.7, great result from a Brit. Jump into the 2nd row. So it's Martin in 3rd, then Saltseeder, Nemeda Psychedelics, Fern, Framed, Viperian, Atom Racing, and Cap. Atom Racing definitely not something... Oh! Meanwhile, Gunsis beats the fastest lap by less than 0.02 of a second, 32.967. Compared to Team's 983, Psychedelics jumps to 3rd with 33.6. So definitely a few improvements here, there, and everywhere. We have 2 minutes and a bit left. And definitely a few off tracks by everyone. 16,000 slower than his fastest lap by Tim, and that might be... It's almost precisely the difference. Actually, that is precisely the difference between the 2 leaders. Let's see if there's any improvement on this lap this time around, as he will have a couple more opportunities, I believe, as he crosses the line now. No improvement. And he goes on. Let's go on board with the racing team Intel 1 Ferrari. See how he improves, or if he improves. But for now, we're starting to be looking at the timing tower, as everybody will be starting their final qualifying laps now. You see a little bit loose and already 1/10 down. 26 flat, first sector. 2/10 down, and see the car is loose again. That Ferrari is not cooperating with the McLaren team on his timed lap, so might be useful. 32.6! I don't know what might be useful, but the Latvian just decided to sneak a pole, and he's completely done with the qualifying. He puts an exclamation point and just retires early and lets his opponents do the challenging. Great run by the Latvian, so far pole position by more than 0.3 of a second. Psychedelics improves to 33.6, now residing in 3rd alongside Marzen. Atom Racing 34.6. One of the top 3 drivers of a championship find himself incredibly far down the pecking order, bottom of row 5. So that's Gunsten McLaren team top 2. Atom Racing in 10th. Psychedelics in 3rd. So that's one outlier. McLaren team is done. He's not gonna take one more lap. He's fine with his second position. 6 seconds left on the clock, and timer expires now. Framed Automotive also in pits. I believe Cap also went to pits, so we have fewer and fewer cars. We're looking at Psychedelics. Let's see if he keeps third position. Currently, the boat continues on. Saltseeder, no improvement on the pit lane, and it looks like Psychedelics is... It looks slow, but it might just be the zoomed camera, Formula 1 style, that shows the car as a little bit slow. Probably looks much scarier on the onboard. Cool K and Framed in pits, Fern in pits, Marzen in pits, Psychedelics also in pits, so no improvement there. Nimeda's coming to the final sector, we're waiting for him. Atom racing off the track, so that's a lap done for him. Nimeda, Smart Pipe, Cool K, Viperian. White Shiper and Wushi, also two cars that yet failed to post a valid lap. And that's Nimedes in pits, that's Smart Pipe in pits. Atom Racing messed up and looks like not going fast. Well, Wushi off the road, so that's not gonna be an improvement. Viperian in the pits, no improvement there. Shiper? Also in pits, I think we're done. I think we're officially done. I don't think there's any car that is able to improve their lap time. So waiting while everybody parks in pits. Trying to find a car that's yet to cross the line. Oh, there we go. Cap also proceeding. Currently in 13th place at 37.1. Let's see if there will be an improvement. So far looks like far down on the best time, unless something is wrong, so I don't think there will be a timed lap, so probably just a return to pits. As we are awaiting the race. Yeah, there we are. Cap is also jumping into pits, and we are gonna wait and then proceed to our one and only race of the weekend. 60 minutes plus one lap today, as per usual. Safety car parked out back, so that's interesting, but oh well. So, we do have a bunch of cars there ready and waiting. We do have Shiper, Wushi, and I believe that's Cap in front of him. Cap set the time. Shiper and Wushi did not. That's why they're two out back. So with 2 minutes to go, we'll definitely be back shortly. Meanwhile, grab yourself a drink, prepare for a race, because this is definitely gonna be interesting very, very soon.
around a bit. We have a spin at the back.
So we are getting ready to go for the race. It looks like we're slowing down just a little bit as we had a spinner coming off the line. That'll be Fern, gonna be rejoining from the back. And looks like Whoosh had an incident as well. So we are preparing. Cars exiting Variante Alta. Now gonna be slowing down and regrouping. Side by side and ready to go in a slight moment. 15 cars. Looks like the two remaining are slowly catching up.
Go for a start.
And we do have a go-ahead from race control. Green lights on the safety car, and now the race is in control of Gunses. On the right-hand side, we do have two cars that have to start from a back a little bit further out. They can start going from this point to the timing line. Gunses waits and goes late, but now away we go. Gunses starting the race and safely in the lead back. We do have Psychedelics challenging McLaren team side by side. Mawson is trying to look on the inside of Psychedelics. Meanwhile, we continue on, Framed battling with Smart Pipes. 3 wide, that's Atom round the outside of Framed. We have Shiper looking the wrong way. That looks like the only casualty of turn 1. Atom racing with a smart move on Framed as we continue on line of stern. Looks like everybody else managing to survive just about. Auto Racing is looking at the rear of Smart Pipe, challenging for 7th place already, but that's not a good place to overtake. Starting from 10th already, 2 spots up. Great start from a Russian. Let's see if he continues battling forwards and upwards. Meanwhile, in the lead, Gunses with a great launch, but now under fire from McLaren Tim into turn 14. Line of stern for now, but if Tim gets a better exit, there might be an opportunity to overtake. Tim is all over Gunses' rear. We'll see if there will be a move. Tim is looking down the inside. He looks, but does not go. Stays behind. There is a long straightaway. Viperion overtakes Framed Automotive in the meantime. Gets a little bit of a punt from Framed, but looks like no major harm done, and Framed slowed down to avoid running over. Now we do have the draft between the two leaders. McLaren team obviously with the fastest lap 1, but the McLaren is really good on the straightaway. It's not helping much. We do have a car in the pits already, to Wusha with possibly some early damage. Shiper continues on now, and that's a big wreck! That's a big wreck. That's Auto Racing, that's Smart Pipe and Nimidas all out in turn 1, rejoining with some damage, all 3 of them. And that's White Shiper driving by, not sure what happened there, but that is a big wreck. Dropping all of them down pretty solidly. Meanwhile, battle for the lead continues. Let's see what happens here. Obviously, we'll leave it to our steward and team to see what happened there. Lap 2, turn 1, or turn 2 technically. But for now, McLaren team still on the tailpipe of our race leader, still looking down the inside, but chicane does not work really well. For now, we do have an opportunity for Kulke to overtake Framed. On the inside, the mighty Mercedes goes around and clears the Porsche. If he's able to stay on track, he does. And that's another take done. Meanwhile, McLaren team still on the tail, but no overtakes. And side by side, and Framed loses another position. Almost no battle as Fern goes through for 8th. Looks like major problems early on for Framed as he drops to 9th position. We do have a battle. That's McLaren Tim looking for the inside, goes this time around into turn 2, side by side they go. Gunses jumps hard on the curbs and has to let McLaren team through. That's an overtake for the lead. Very easy looking, obviously not easy, but easy looking overtake. Fern goes around Kulke. Looks like Kulke made an error somewhere. So that's Porsche through to 7th position. Let's see if Kulke is able to respond quickly. Framed Automotive is behind, but losing a little bit of ground. Guns is already half a second back from McLaren team, so Guns is able to string 1 lap pace, but once again the Ferrari pulls away lap by lap. That is the strength, and behind we have an error from Psychedelics. Goes wide in Aqua Minerale and loses position to Marzen, who advances to the podium position. Marzen now in 3rd. And behind we do have a little bit of a train. A great camera angle to see plenty of cars. That's Fern, Kulke framed, followed by Cap and Atom. Atom, after earlier collision, crawls back and tries to regain all the places he lost. Because of that, he was in 8th, fighting for 7th with Smart Pipe. Smart Pipe currently resides in 13th, Atom in 11th, and looking for a move down the inside. That's a Ferrari on Ferrari bullying, and Atom advances to top 10 around Cap. Let's see what is going on elsewhere. Fern looks like catching up to Viperian. That's for 6th position. Fern with a difficult start, but so far a little bit faster than midfield's Smart Pipe, looking to catch up to Nemedis and Cap as well. So those two have lost probably the most due to their pace. Nemedis also a participant in that early collision, so that's 3 cars that have to climb back and definitely have to utilize pit stop strategy to maybe gain something back. So we continue on. 5 minutes started and we are still awaiting for some advancements, and we do see that an error from Viperian allows Fern and Kulke to go by. Smart Pipe looking the wrong way once again, and Shaper goes around. Continue on. Psychedelics 1 second back. And chasing Marzen for the podium position. So looks like an overtake from Nemedis on Cap, or looks more like an error on Cap's side because the gap is already 3 seconds. So we are awaiting for some further drama, and looks like Framed Automotive might be providing that shortly, and he's now behind Viperian, half a second gap. Looking to complete an overtake. Looks like we do have a slightly biased safety car driver in the chat, rooting for a team. Smart Pipe overtakes White Shaper, that's for 13th position. Back on the start-finish straight, that's Viperian and Framed. Viperian earlier made a mistake, let a couple of drivers by, and now a speedy Porsche versus just as speedy, but probably taking a while to overtake Mercedes, and that's framed on the inside. An orange missile overtakes, Cap drops to 14th, meanwhile behind Scheiper, and overtake for 8th from framed on Viperian. Successful, and now chasing Kulke for 7th. Kulke himself is behind Fern, that's 6th and 7th. A second between Fern and Kulke, a second even less between Framed and Viperian in the background. An error from Framed and Viperian trying to go around the outside and Aqua Mini Rally, and it works. Great move, and now Artem Racing is behind this duo, catching up, taking names, and had to slow down a little bit to avoid a collision, but now on the tail of the 007 Jägermeister Porsche. Visually he's a little bit faster, but has to hold back to stay safe and find a place to overtake. Meanwhile, there's an overtake Psychedelics and Marsden, and that's behind Marsden is in the gravel trap and losing positions down to Saltcedar in 5th place, and possibly losing more as he's very slow off the corner. That's an error for the Porsche. Drops down to 5th. Let's see if he keeps position from Fern here. Porsche is pushing hard, but looks like just slightly behind. As we continue on, looking between Fern and Marsden, let's see if there's going to be anything interesting here. Probably waiting a little bit, and meanwhile a little bit further back we do have a triple battle. Artem Racing catching up to Framed and Viperian. And looking back, there's Nemidas a few seconds back. If something happens here, he's definitely going to be the first one to capitalize. Fern is a little bit stuck, and that allowed Kulke also to catch up just a tiny little bit. And Kulke is possibly looking for a move here. Behind we do definitely have a move brewing, as Framed once again looking to go around Viperian in a chicane, but now that might be a difficult pill to swallow. Now he goes for a crossover, still side by side. Artem Racing behind those two. Possibly the best view in the house off the track for 007. I'm not sure where the Porsche is going, but he's losing position. Now Artem Racing is in a driver's seat in that battle behind Viperian. Fern drop a little bit back. I'm not sure what that Porsche was doing, but definitely not overtaking. Continue on. Gunses looks like made an error somewhere. Aqua Mini Rally, and there is the Latvian dropping down to 3rd once again. The one lap pace is there, but the long-term sustainability of that McLaren biting him hard and drops down to 3rd, 2 seconds behind Psychedelics. So that's another error for the Latvian. I believe there has been no issues with the wall there. And we do have Viperian caught in corners here. Looks like he is still under fire from Artem Racing. Not sure if there was any time gained from that move by Viperian. As we continue on. Exit of the last corner. You see Guntz is losing 9 seconds in that move alone. Very, very suboptimal. Meanwhile, 47 minutes to go. We're looking at Artem Racing, and he's probably gonna set up a move on the Kiwi, look at the difference of that speed. Looks like Artem was a little bit too hot there. Had to get out of that opportunity. And while we're looking at the crazy Russian trying some interesting moves, probably as good time as ever. Commentator's curse strikes immediately as I was saying that, as Viperian finds himself off the road and down 2 places in the second chicane, turns 5 and 6. Down to 10th, Artem Racing up to 8th and continues on. Nemaitis now sees a battle in front of him. So we're looking, I guess now we're looking at Framed Automotive, who is chasing down Artem. So 2 loose and fast cars. And let's try again. This is probably a good time to go to our pure sound and enjoy me not talking. home into his curse, alive and well, as you've seen the first-person perspective of Artem Racing losing the car in the gravel and letting a competitor through. Frame and Automotive back in 8th position. Meanwhile, Guns is catching up to Psychedelics with 2 minutes to go before the start of the pit window. So gonna be interesting to see, and well, yeah, that's on me probably as well. Guns goes around Psychedelics, who loses the car in Aqua Minerale again. And Guns proceeds to restore his 2nd place, but now 13 seconds further than he was. Marzen catching up to Salt Cedar, less than a second between those two. Still looking to get the pass done for 4th position after an error in Rivazza. And then not too far back of Gunston Psychedelics, just 5-6 seconds. An unlucky pit window can just nullify that gap easily, as we've seen several times before. Further down we see Viperian and Nemaidas going at it, and SmartPipe slowly but surely catching back up after a couple of mishaps early on in yellow Lamborghini. Not sure where exactly Viperian is going. Cooling tires? I'm not sure, but stays ahead for now, under fire from Nemaidas. Looking like quite a few battles still. 20 minutes in and Viperian in the wall hard. That Mercedes is not gonna be proceeding well. That's heavy front damage for the Kiwi. And Artem Racing is battling with a framed loose, and around he goes. Almost around goes Artem Racing as well. Not sure if there was help or both of them lost it at the same time, but Artem Racing progresses to 8th, while Frame drops down to 11th position. Kulke and Fern still locked in the battle for 6th place. Mercedes trying to catch up to Porsche. But now Marzen and Saltseer side by side, and Marzen completes the overtake. Frame goes around SmartPipe, but Marzen back to 4th place. We've seen the tail end of that overtake out of Variante Alta. And that Porsche proceeds ahead, 7 seconds back from the podium place, and pit window is now open. Let's see if anybody will dive in. I would guess Viperian might be the first candidate, receiving some severe damage to his front on the preceding lap. Let's keep an eye on him, see if he dives straight in. And we do have Nemaidas in, and we do have Viperian, so 2 cars. Nemaidas possibly had some damage early on that lap 2 crash. Viperian had some damage we've just seen. So these are the first 2 to jump into pits. We've seen Wushi in the pits on lap 2, I believe, from early incident, but that would not be counted towards mandatory pit stops, so he'll have to stop again. And definitely there has been a lot of cursing today. And looks like Viperian has exited the car, so that might be it for the Kiwi. We'll see if there will be an update regarding that. Looks like Viperian is still in the pits while Nemaidas continues on, so looks like Kiwi might be parking his car here. Might be the first casualty, and we're down to 14 cars. Pulke a little bit loose out of the final turn, and so we do have a battle here. Oh, and there's a mistake from Framed again, and that's an easy pass for Smart Pipe. This front end is not looking very smart, gotta admit. So, looks like that might be a little problematic for the Irishman, and we'll see if he's pitting sooner rather than later. So, for now, we continue, and Framed drops down to 10th place. And looks like Marsden is slowly but surely catching up to Psychedelics. 1.5 seconds between them now. Looks like Psychedelics had an error somewhere. So interesting to see the development here, and possibly an early stop for Marsden to offset a little bit. Not sure how long is the pit window here with 20-second fuel stop. It's not the longest pit lane, so expect about 40 seconds probably. So I've got to wait and see if that dumps Marsden in a gap between Scheiper and Cap. And looks like that's Wushi letting the leaders through. And for now the battle continues, 1.5 seconds still. Back there we see Kulke and Fern in a battle, back to point 5. At some point Kulke dropped back, but now he is back on the tail. Oh, there's Wushi in the wall. That's 14-15 Variante Alta, so that is not a healthy looking Lamborghini. At 5 minutes into the pits, looks like only 2 have pitted yet, and one of them was a retirement for Hyperion, who is now wondering how does he find a new and interesting place to go off. That's definitely an interesting place to lose the car, as we've seen from the main view. I've heard gravel noises as well, as we were expecting, so somebody up ahead is using a little bit of gravel. As you see the marks on the outside of a turn, a lot of people use the gravel there. Still close. Looks like Kulke is a little bit faster in the second sector specifically, catching up to Fern at the exit of Aqua Minerali, and then kind of dropping back throughout the rest of the lap. So that is... It is interesting how that will develop. Definitely Kulke would have to stay as close as possible, and it looks like we have Psychedelics as the first lead car to pit. Interesting that he's not staying back and staying on track for as long as possible. That used to be his strategy. Maybe a change after deep position in the previous race for Psychedelics, who now jumps into the pits just before the halfway mark. Smart Pipe meanwhile catching up Atom Racing. Let's see if there's gonna be a battle there between a Ferrari and a Lamborghini. 35.5 versus 35.3. Meanwhile, in the lead, the gap is only growing. 33.7, the fastest lap for McLaren team. And looks like Smart Pipe is just gonna go around. I'm not sure what happened to Atom there, but that car is not looking particularly fast. continue on. Salt Cedar in the pits. Looks like he was not gonna wait for others. Looks like that's framed. The orange car also off the track a little bit in this second chicane. But continues on as we're looking at Smart Pipe. Going around. But no improvement as of yet. Cook and Fern still locked in a battle. We'll see which one of them pits first. Meanwhile, Atom Racing is close to Smart Pipe here. Looks like an error in Aqua Minerale. Mazen pits. Atom Racing crossing over, but looks like Ferrari is good on the launch, but the top speed is better for the Lamborghini, who keeps the position but goes a little bit wide. Atom Racing on the inside, maybe looking for something, a little bit of a bump. And will he be improving his position? No, he has to dive into pits. Mazen, Cool K, and Fern all in the pits. Atom Racing pits, Cap'n pits. So looks like everybody was waiting for halfway mark. Smart Pipe framed. 2 leaders continued on. We'll see where Psychedelics rejoins. And here we see going around, that's Mazen. That was, I believe, Cap a lap back. Psychedelics rejoin in front. Cool K and Fern side by side. Cool K ahead! Cool K is ahead. So that's a switch on the pit road. Brilliant stop by the Mercedes, who finds himself in front of a Porsche. Right there and goes wide. Oh, all the hard work, but now both of them make a mistake. New tires biting both drivers and looks like line of stern for now. Atom Racing being overtaken by Nemades at the rejoin. Gunz's in pits now. Kulke off the road in the second chicane. And facing the wrong way, trying to rejoin and letting another car by. That's an unfortunate development. Gunz in pits. Scheiper rejoins in 12th. Gunz will probably be in absolute no man's land. As he rejoins, the next car is gonna be Smart Pipe, but he himself has to pit now. So we continue on. 7 minutes till pit window closes. Framed and Smart Pipe close together. Atom Racing just erased himself from that battle, and that might be a wise move, but the problem is Atom himself is now stuck behind Nemades here. So after those pits are finished, that might not even matter. Gunz is rejoined behind, framed by a couple of seconds. So Gunz is behind, looking at framed, and obviously waiting for him and Smart Pipe to dive onto the pit road. For now, let's go on board a little bit and stay orange for a couple more laps while we are waiting for the final pits for our drivers. Framed launches from pit road, and let's see where he rejoins. You see the battle here, and he rejoins right behind, so whoever pitted earlier got an advantage here. That's Kulki, Atom Racing, and now Framed Automotive, and Nemidis in front of that whole bunch. And Framed is quite a bit back. He did an error, but still, that's quite a ways back. So if I'm SmartPipe, I'm pitting as soon as possible. He has a couple of opportunities. Atom Racing goes around Kulki and into 9th position. The next target will be Nemidis. We'll see if SmartPipe dives in now, or if he just leaves it to the last possible moment. And he continues on. He'll have 3.5 minutes. That's enough for 1 lap. I don't think he'll have 2 laps in him, because that's about 3... actually no, 3 minutes. So he'll be able to do 2 laps, but it'll be tight for the last one. So probably the Lamborghini is coming in at the end of a lap. But obviously he'll come up at the back end of that whole battle for 8th position. Meanwhile, up top, that's McLaren team, clear of everybody. Guns in net 2nd place, followed by Psychedelics, Mausen, and Salt Cedar. That is our top 5 currently. Pretty solid gaps between them, so if no errors happen, I think that's gonna be a line of turn towards the later stages of the race. Meanwhile, Atom is being chased by Kulke. The Mercedes is rapid. He is looking around the outside. Atom Racing just closes that down immediately, disallowing any potential moves. Not the best of exit, but he's far enough ahead for that to not matter. The battle continues, and that battle will continue in front. Looking at times here as well. Guns is catching up to SmartPipe. SmartPipe 35.8. He still has not pitted, so he's definitely. Atom Racing makes a mistake, and he rejoins behind Kulki now. That might be a thing that SmartPipe was waiting for. Get as many laps done as possible while everybody else messes up and messes each other up. So we continue onwards, and Atom is down to 10th. Nemidis is running away, and now they're back close to Framed. So if SmartPipe was faster than this bunch in the last couple of laps, he might as well rejoin in front of him, or at least side by side, as he was slightly in front of Framed. So definitely will be interesting to see what happens now. So obviously we're gonna end up spectating SmartPipe, who has to come in this time around, and that will have to be a very rapid stop if he wants to gain something from that. There is definitely a lot of opportunity here. Just needs some great result. That's looking like Atom Racing made a mistake and dropped behind Framed as well. So that Ferrari is not behaving particularly well. Side by side between Framed and Atom Racing. Atom is on the outside and has to yield for now. SmartPipe dives into the pit lane, and we're gonna spectate this for a little bit, because SmartPipe is gonna be in the pits for about half a lap now. And he's gonna rejoin right about here. Let's see, and let's wait. That's Framed off the road again. They're basically gifting SmartPipe this position. SmartPipe in the pits now. That's Mausen going by in 4th position. Salt Cedar in 5th, and next gonna be Fern. Here, Fern is through. Next, Nemidis, Kulki, Atom, and that's... looks nowhere on that screen. It looks like SmartPipe is pretty much clear of everyone. There he is, and there is Nemidis. That's a very solid gap for SmartPipe. Great management of the pit stop, and he rejoins in 7th position ahead of that battle pack, who decided to lose time altogether. So that Lamborghini definitely had some speed on all the tires, and let's see in the last 19 minutes plus 1 lap if he has some pace to maybe still 13 seconds. That's a lot. And Smartbike will definitely have newer tires compared to everybody else, at least for by a few laps. They might have 1.7 back, so while Smartbike is working on tires, you see that front is still damaged. So I think the Irishman elected not to fix the car, electing a shorter pit stop. So that might be an opportunity for him, but if that car is difficult to drive, that might as well be a problem in the Battle of Nemesis, who is not too far back. We'll see how that develops. Meanwhile, Artem racing in 10th after losing a couple of positions from his mistakes. Looks like Framed also lost some spots and time. He's now 3 seconds back, and Artem is settled for a battle for 9th with Kulke, and that will definitely harm him in the championship, as the other 3 championship contenders are currently the top 3 in the standings. Continue on 0.9 between Kulke and Artem. Not the greatest of paces for the Russian. So that is reminiscent of psychedelics struggling in the VIR, but that's even further based on the larger attendance. So that'll hurt Artem even more. 34.4 for Fern. Definitely a rapid car. Now he's chasing down Saltzir and maybe trying to unsettle that top 5. So interesting to see how that develops. Looks like 2 seconds between him and Saltzir. And that Porsche, that's about as instantaneous of a commentator's curse as you could have probably seen, as Fern spins about a second after appearing on screen. And now gonna be defended from Smartbike rather than attacking Saltzir. Saltzir, welcome, you know my PayPal account. As we continue on, McLaren team sets the fastest lap of a race at 33.612. Just further establishing his dominance, which is already counted in, well, almost counted in pit stops rather than seconds. Continue on looking at battle for 9th here. Artem racing and Kulke still 1 second between them, now 3.5 to Nemesis. Nemesis, who is still clinging the Smartbike 2 seconds, and now they're both together trying to get to Fern. So that might be interesting towards the end. Artem racing, if he wants to catch up, he definitely needs to pass Kulke. I think they're losing a little bit of time to Nemesis. Just a bit by bit, but that obviously comes together in larger amounts. Looking further down, Frame Dontbot have lost a couple of seconds more to that duo. So that Porsche is not behaving well. Find himself all the way down in 11th. And we do have 15 minutes to go, or under 15 minutes to go. So still battle among those two. And looks like Smart Pipe and Fern are also quite close together, so Lamborghini is catching up to the Porsche. Looks like that Porsche is once again proven its designation of incredibly fast but incredibly hard to drive car, as Fern is starting to make a few mistakes here and there, and Lamborghini is catching up now within a second. Anyway, it's a little bit further back, and we see Cool K and Atom Racing in the background there as well. So 5 cars relatively close to each other within about 5 seconds from first to last. That is about a gap Salt Cedar has to Marsden alone. And we do have 13 minutes plus 1 lap. The race is heading towards its closing stages. And looks like we are all but settled up front. McLaren team far in the lead by 18 seconds ahead of Gunsis, who himself is 17 seconds ahead of Psychedelics. Next up, Marsden 10 seconds or 9 seconds back off Psych, and Salt Cedar 4.5 back from Marsden. And after that, we do have the group that's now on your screens. Fern and Smart Pipe, followed by Nemetis. Cool K and Atom Racing, Frame dropping back to 11th and further down. White Striper in 12th, Cap in 13th. Followed by True Wushi in 14th, and Viperian is the only DNF today in 15th spot. 12 minutes to go. We're on board with the Huracan with a slightly broken windshield. Elected to continue, windshield is broken, hood is flappy, but the base is still there. Interesting to see if that is the base, or if the car was healthy without that early incident, if that car would have been even more rapid. Definitely interesting, and definitely something we won't be able to see, as Smart Pipe elected not to fix the damage and continue on as usual. So 1 second between him and Fern still for 6th place. Atom Racing and Cool K meanwhile still in the battle. Further down, there we go. Attempt maybe at a crossover. Atom Racing is very close, but not close enough just yet, and still has to settle down and settle back. Oh, and there's a... I'm sorry, Cool K. Another commentator's curse, striking instantly as Cool K now has some more damage. Get loose out of turn 6 and meeting Mr. Wall. And losing the battle to Atom, now find himself in 10th position. I guess we're safe to return to the Lamborghini in a battle with Fern for 6th position. And I guess as we are approaching the final 10 minutes, that's probably a good time to head into our final pure sound of the day. Enjoy the whine of a Lambo. rejoin just as the battle rages on. Fern and Smartpipe close to each other, but that's another car in the mirrors. That's Nimedas with 34.6. Once again, towards the end of a race, that McLaren is absolutely rapid and closing down on the battle ahead, while Smartpipe is stuck behind Fern and looking for a way by. So it's now a three-way battle. Nimedas inserting himself into that, and Smartpipe still looking for a way by. He needs to be careful now. He is not careful, and he goes around and into the wall. Nimedas goes through, and Smartpipe rejoins in front of Atom Racing. And now the next one is Nimedas. He successfully avoided all that. Lost just a tiny bit of time, but he was faster than Fern. And with 6 minutes to go, he will be the prime contender for that 6th position. McLaren is rapid and he closed down. He's now back within a second. Let's see who I am able to curse now in the last laps of the race. Looks like I did curse Atom Racing. He was off track in Aqua Mini Rally and rejoins rather slowly, and that's Cool K on the tail. And that Ferrari very slow to accelerate after an error. Cool K is looking down the inside, but no gap there as of yet. So far he remains in front of Cool K, but that Mercedes is fast in a straight, so unless Atom is able to find some good exit on the straight, he might still be under fire from Cool K. The Mercedes does have quite a bit of gusto. It looks like he is a little bit too far back for that this time around, but still 5 minutes to go, and we'll see. 36.7 from Cool K. Nimedas dropping just a tiny little bit back. 1 second. The Porsche obviously wins on the straightaway, so Nimedas needs to catch up and hopefully pass before the start finish. It's not possible, it looks like, in a McLaren to pass on the start finish straight, as Porsche is way too rapid. So middle of a track, you see Nimedas gains a lot of time here on Fern. And here is the spot where he should be able to get the pass done. He needs to stay as close as possible through the fast part and possibly into the chicane. Definitely not this lap, but possibly a little bit later. Set up a move here and maybe do something in Rivazzi to get himself a little bit of a gap. For now, he stays in 7th position, looking at the light gray bumper of the Porsche in 6th position. Once again, 0.8 between them as they head onto the start-finish straight. Porsche is snaking just a tiny bit to try and break the toe. And you see that Porsche just disappearing on the straightaway. Not much a McLaren can do here. 35 flat for Nimedas, 35.4 for Fern. Nimedas does have capability to go a little bit faster. Hard brake by McLaren, a little bit loose on exit. These are the mistakes he has to eliminate. He has to gain every single corner to be able to get there and get by turn 14. McLaren team 33.5. In the dying stages of a race, the American once again flexes and gunces, gaining even more time. Half a second, that might be an opportunity, but that's another short straight where Fern gains some time. 0.6 closer than it was last time. Hard over the curb. That's one of the no-no curves, but Nimedas is taking it all. On the brakes through Aqua Mini Rally. Is he close enough to do something here? On the brakes, maybe on the crossover. Not yet. Porsche is able to get ahead once again. Both hard over the curbs. A little bit of a wobble for Nimedas, and Fern goes away. 2.5 minutes left, plus 1 lap, so about 3 more laps for them. continue on, 1 minute to go. Still no pass here. Still awaiting. Atom racing off the road again, but he's far enough. Oh no, he's not. There's an overtake Kulki on Atom racing. Looks like another issue in Aquabini rally. And that's a swap for position. And Kulki is a little bit slow. Atom racing on the bumper now. So let's see if he's able to get that place back. Side by side they go. And still side by side, Mercedes is able to power around, but not enough. Atom Racing just bullies his way through. Let's see if there will be any improvement here from the Mercedes. Looks like a little bit too slow. 7 seconds to go. They'll have 2 more laps. 2 more laps for Kulke to get one back, and 2 more laps for Nemaitis to finally make a pass stick. For now, Atom Racing saves a position. So we go ahead, still a little bit too close for comfort. And there's a contact. There's some contact in the rear. Fern went hard on the defense. Nemaitis tried to attack. There is a little tap, but no swap of position. 1.7 for Kulki, so I think that battle is done unless another mistake happens. Nemaitis was close this time around. He'll have one more opportunity. Actually, I think the leader is end of a lap, so that's 2 more opportunities, I believe, for 2 of them. As leader will cross the line now, and that'll be 2. And final lap now for the leader. 0.7 between Fern and Nemaitis. McLaren team will run 1 more lap, 1.5 more laps for the rest of them. We'll see how that works out. 0.5, still close, but still waiting for an error. The error might not come, and we're looking at Nemaitis. He's still a little bit too far. Maybe a crossover is his best opportunity. 0.4. He's much better on the brakes. But Fern does not make a mistake this time around. 1 more opportunity for Nemaitis. 1 more lap, 1 more chance. But Porsche is just driving away with incredible pace. And it almost looks like there's nothing a McLaren can do. Nothing a McLaren can do here. Continue on, let's see, 7/10, not the greatest start, and actually did miss that. McLaren team is so far ahead, he already finished the race. So Tim wins another race. Atom Racing finishes in 8th, so it looks like that battle between Furman and Nemaitis is gonna be the last battle. Nemaitis is very close. A little bit off, we've seen a lap traffic trying to get out of the way successfully for 2 of them. They're very close. Nemaitis half a second. And 4/10, a little bit deep under braking for Nemaitis. And and 6. I don't think that's gonna happen unless an error happens. Fern is really good in the last section. Gunsis takes second place, Psychedelics is third. Marzen with a great race, no drama here, finishes in fourth. Saltseeder crosses the line in 5th position. And here, close battle, but just not enough for Nemaidas, who drops down to Fern and finishes in 7th place. Fern, in his debut, in 6th place. And looks like the last car to cross line, Truvushi in 14th and last a lap down. Last among the finishing ones we've seen behind Atom Racing, Kulki, Smart Pipe, Framed Automotive and Whitechapper and Cap finish further back. And well, McLaren team, once again your race winner, and just doing everything he can and can't to just get that title battle done. Brilliant performance, and well, let's just get it over with. Let's get him in here. Tim, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, Jordan.
So, absolute domination apart from that pole position. The pace for that Ferrari was absolutely great, and I've seen you set a fastest lap with what, 2 laps to go, 3 laps to go? So everything went well here? No issues whatsoever?
Yeah, it was pretty unexpected because I was pretty sick all week, so I didn't get much practice in. But yeah, I think luckily because I did like a bunch of hot lapping on this track before, and the setup work from last round carried over really well. Like the car had a lot of grip, so it wasn't that bad to start off with. And then I think just before the race, doing some laps, doing a race stint, I found, I think what everyone struggled with was the bounce changes, like 4 laps in. It's super rear limited, and yeah, it took a second because it was so drastic how oversteery it was. But yeah, a couple setup changes right before the race, and then way back in that Skip Barber season that we did in what feels like forever ago, like I think some of that driving style carried over as well, just babying the car. Even though it didn't drive how you wanted, you just had to make sure the rears were stuck on the ground. And yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty unexpected to say the least.
Yeah, definitely one of the tracks we've seen a lot of mistakes from drivers, so nursing it around probably helped. And I think more of the same for you at Red Bull Ring?
Yeah, hopefully. I don't think I've driven Red Bull Ring that much. It'll be interesting to see how we go, because the Ferrari struggles with front downforce out the box, so yeah, we'll see which cars Merc will go really well there, so.
Alright, well, hope to see you next race. Congratulations with another win and expanding the gap in the championship.
Yeah, thanks, Georgian.
And let's see, we have a new face here. Smart Pipe, do you hear me?
How do we?
So, welcome back, and what an interesting return for you.
That could be said.
That Lamborghini is very bright and was a part of the early race, I believe lap 2 collision. I wasn't able to get that all on camera. What happened there?
I was actually looking back at there now in the replay. It looks like I had a, it's 6-1 happening. So like the medias could have been wider, I could have been tighter. We touch, we spin. What's new?
I see. And then that Lamborghini proved to be quite a fast race car, and but probably more loose than you would have wanted. Apart from the spins, when I was on board, I've seen that car a little bit loose on the exit. Is that a setup problem or just Lamborghini problem?
Oh no, that's a skill issue.
Well, that's a very straightforward answer. And also, you managed to rejoin in front of that pack with the last possible lap pit, and I've seen that you elected not to repair some damage. That conscious decision, or just winged it?
Didn't know how much time it would affect me. Like, would it take longer than the tires? And the car was handling relatively okay, so I decided just to chance it.
I see. Well, definitely fun to see a new competitor, and hope to see you at Red Bull Ring.
Absolutely. Cheerio.
Now, to the car that, it's probably safe to say, exceeded expectations on the track. Mazen, hello.
Hello.
So, points for qualifying, I think. Did you finish third or fourth? I forgot. And definitely a great performance in the race, finishing top 4. Just one tiny error. Tell us about your Porsche this time, because it seemed a little bit more tame.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it didn't feel tame. I can tell you that. But yeah, I guess this track I just prefer a bit more than others, and yeah, it just gelled a bit. One little tank slapper into the last turn, which cost me third, and a few little errors near the end. But other than that, it was a good race.
Definitely only one mistake, and the pace in qualifying was also solid before Syke arrived as well. Something you fancy carrying into Red Bull Ring, or that would require some adjustment for the car and for yourself?
I hope to carry it into Red Bull Ring. I need to, as I've said, I need to work on my late race pace and whatnot, because I started crumbling at the end. But yeah, I hope to continue it into Red Bull.
Alright, well, good luck to you and see you there.
Thank you very much.
Right, I guess let's grab one more. Someone who saw a lot of Porsche rear bumper today. Midas, hello.
Hello.
So, probably a race of frustration a little bit towards the end for you. Tell us a bit about that battle with the Porsche, and how does it feel to be against the Porsche on the track with a lot of straights?
Not fun. Just say very, very simply, not fun. I felt like I had the pace to actually pass the Porsches, but yeah, when you hit a straight, they just go away. Even in the slipstream, I had no chance.
And yeah, we've seen that you caught up through the middle of a track and that lost it all in the start-finish. But there was that one little opportunity where you ended up rear-ending Fern in the chicane 14-15. Something you were looking for a move there, or just unfortunate contact?
Just unfortunate contact. I used my regular braking points, and yeah, I think the person was just a little early. I didn't expect it, so I just slammed the brakes to try and not hit the person. I did bump a little bit, but in good sportsmanship, I just let them go first.
Yeah, and obviously, probably expected this question. Something happened early in the race. Lap 2, you, Artem Racing, and Smart Pipe were in a three-way collision, all in the gravel. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, honestly, I have no idea what happened. Maybe the person behind me didn't expect me to be the pace I was. Maybe I don't know. I was the first person to get hit, I think. Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. I just got rear-ended and suddenly I was in the gravel. Lost my rear spoiler because of that, sadly. So that also cost me some time in the pits during my pit stop. But yeah, I gambled on that pit stop to try and make up the pace and undercut.
Yeah, that seemed to have worked to an extent for you as well, and I've noticed that your car seemed to come alive towards the end of a race. Once again, you were catching up and taking places closer to the end while everybody else was struggling on used tires. That's something you factor into your setup, something psychologically, or how does that happen race after race?
No, to be honest, this is the first time I'm running with this specific setup, because in practice I could not get this track right at all. Like, I was so frustrated, I was ready to back out. But I asked our good Latvian friend, Gunsis, and he sent me his setup, which I modified a little bit. I
see. Well, last question. Two tracks everybody here is probably the most familiar with: Red Bull Ring, Hockenheim. Do you have something prepared? You looking forward to them?
Well, in regards to the Porsche, I can't say I'm looking forward to Red Bull Ring, but yeah, I'm just taking it as it comes and trying to see what I can do.
I see. Well, good luck to you, and hope to see more battles in mid-pack and hopefully upper mid-pack for you.
Yeah, same.
Alright, I think that'll be all for us for today. Definitely some tight racing, a lot of commentator cursing, and 2 more races to go. Just 2 races until we crown our champion and we see full results. Next one is March 17th. We have a little bit of a break, 3 weeks of rest, and then we have our final doubleheader. Mark your calendars, March 17th, Red Bull Ring, March 25th, finale at the Hockenheim Ring. So thank you very much for watching, see you guys next time, until then, this is goodbye.